Identical twins that own pets. What was your pet's reaction when they saw your twin? My dog can clearly tell when it's not me. But when I'm not there, my brother can act as a temporary replacement. He's a Velcro dog and has a hierarchy of people he attaches to. I'm an identical twin and I've never thought of this, haha. Now I wonder if my dogs have ever gotten confused and I just didn't notice it. One thing I noticed is they will beg from her way more often than they beg from me. I wonder if they know I won't give them scraps/human food, but they think maybe she will. My grandfather had an identical twin who lived out of state who came to his funeral. At the house after, all of my grandfather's chihuahuas followed his twin around the house. My mom has cats and I don't think they can tell my sister and I apart. Also of note, I don't think my 3-year-old nephew can tell my sister and I apart. I think he just believes he has one very attentive aunt. My cat thinks we are the same person. She used to get visibly confused when we were in the same room together, but has now basically figured out that we are different people who just look the same. Honestly, their reaction isn't that notable. Pretty sure the differences in our sense are distinguishable enough for them to not freak out about two identical looking people. That or my dog is just thoroughly unimpressed by my twin, lol. My twin sister and I grew up with pet goats. None of them ever mixed us up. We had certain goats that liked one of us better than the other and could always tell which one was which when they came up for petting. My sister went off to work across the country for a year while I stayed on the farm, and the goat that loved her best always came up to me like she used to do for my sister. But I think that she knew we both missed my sister and wanted to comfort me rather than miss us up, because once my sister came home she didn't do that as much. I became their second go-to choice. They always did chase after new peeps, so figured they don't have issues separating us. But sometimes when I return of a long trip, they don't figure out it's me unless my brother comes to the scene. Seeing that excitement glow is a treasure I always cherish. Okay, so my cat is super skittish, doesn't like anybody, and by the time my husband and I moved into our second apartment together, she was finally cool with him. Then one day, his brother came over. He was standing in the living room with me while my husband was in the kitchen. Stella trots out, thinking oh mama and daddy are here. She comes and snuggles me on the couch and pays no never mind to brother-in-law. Until she sees husband in the kitchen. Suddenly, she's a statue, showing off those oh shit eyes. None of us move, because we all have realized her mistake. She slowly stands up, slides down the couch, like a piece of slime, and, getting as low as she can to the floor, creeps her way back into the bedroom. After which, we all laugh. Poor baby girl. I didn't see her again till bedtime. I don't have a twin, but my sister and I look and sound pretty similar. She gave me her cat several years ago, and I'm 99% sure he didn't even register that he got a new owner. Even though I lived with 3 other people at the time, he started following me around and sleeping on my bed day one without paying any mind to anyone else. She's only visited the cat a few times since, but he always acts super confused anytime it happens, like he can't tell which of us is his human. Not a twin, but have a pair of friends who are. My dog got so confused last time they were over. He had been put in the yard when one twin came in, and after being let in had of course run to her for loves and attention. Then the twin sister came in, 99% sure I smelt burnt toast from his 2 brain cells frying. He was absolutely flabbergasted. I'm not a twin, but a similar story. I was going to meet my sister, but I got to get house before she did. I've got a key, so I'll let myself in to wait for her. She has 2 dogs. Trigger was a rescue and had only been with my sister for a few months at this point. I had met him a few times, but he was still a little shy with me. I walked in and started petting them both, and I was a little surprised how excited Trigger was to see me. Then suddenly, he backed away from me and started barking. He wouldn't let me touch him. I'm pretty sure he thought I was my sister at first, then realized I wasn't and freaked out. My sister came home right after. Trigger is still a little wary of me, like I might still be an imposter or something. Well, I was a baby, so I don't remember personally, but my parents loved telling the story about our dog running from one crying baby in a crib to the other. Back and forth all while looking really confused. I guess we would cry in turns and not together, so he wasn't sure if there was one or two of us for the longest time. Identical twin here. My dog has never acted freaked out to see my sister, and same with her dog to see me. But her dog stayed with me for a couple of weeks once when my sister was moving. About a week after I had brought him to her new place, I stopped by to say hi. He just about knocked me over because he was so happy to see me, and my sister was there too. It was like he got extra attached to me when he had stayed with me. He didn't keep greeting me like that, just that one time. My dog passed away last year, but he was always so excited to see my identical twin sister. I would always tell her that he favored her over me. He obviously knew that we were different people and had no apparent confusion about who was who. But kids, though. My sister and I both have kids, and to some degree they all did this, but especially her 1-year-old just stares at me with a super WTF look on her face. Babies definitely know who is and is not mom, but are like, why does that lady look so much like her? My sister's cat becomes noticeably confused and slightly distressed when I come to visit her. My kitty isn't the smartest. Like some people, she just thought, oh, there's two of them, and went about her business. My cat hated my sister. She was a normally skittish around other people's cat anyway, but mostly that meant she'd hide until they were gone. She actively went after my sister. My bird wouldn't do anything. He knew who was who and would say our names when we walked past. Twin here. Never had pets as children. My parents didn't like the idea of having to clean up after them. Understandable. But my twin's missus has a dog, and the first time she met me, she was chilling with my bro, and since it's likely we smell the same as well as looking the same, she became really concerned that there were two of us, and didn't and still doesn't trust me fully. Her reactions ranged from staring, growling, and barking at me every time I entered the room. Have a dog, he hates men, especially new ones. My best friend lived with me for a year. Never really had a problem liking him besides the initial day. His twin walked in the room and he ran up like, hey. He stopped after getting to his feet and looked at my friend. He did a literal double take, then started barking ferociously at the twin. He got over it pretty quickly once he saw we liked him, which is different from most people. I guess probably pheromones. When my dog first met my sisters, we are triplets, he didn't really seem to have a different reaction than meeting anyone else. When I'm gone and leave him with my parents and my sisters visit their house, he gets so excited to see them until he smells them and realizes that they aren't me. Don't have a twin, but my dad has a brother who looks identical with the exception of facial hair. When my dad shaved, he looked a lot like his twin brother, who is also my uncle. When he came to visit us, our dog bit my dad, mistaking him for a stranger, and greeted my uncle instead. I've pet-sit my twin's dog several times. Her dog loves me and is always super excited to see me, but she goes nuts when my sister comes to pick her up. She absolutely knows which of us is her human. One of my good friends in high school had an identical twin. A lot of people couldn't tell them apart, but I always thought my friend's brother had sleepy eyes, like he had just woken up. One day I went to go pick up my friend for a school function early in the morning. I thought his brother answered the door and asked if Rich was up. He looked at me funny and said, I guess you were serious about that sleepy eyes thing. It was the one and only time that I didn't recognize my friend. Didn't care. One imprinted on my brother, Chihuahua, the other one just lies down with whoever's sleeping. My dogs definitely know the difference, but they really like my twin and want to get their attention more than other family members or friends. I'm married to a twin and I foster dogs. Husband and his twin work together, and I see him nearly daily. I've seen literally hundreds of dogs' reactions to his twin, both with husband in the same room or separate meeting. Most dogs aren't like, straight up confused. I occasionally see it with puppies, if they meet twin, and then husband enters the room. They recover from their confusion quickly though, but there is sometimes a what? Moment. Puppies are exceedingly easy to confuse however. I will say that almost universally, nervous dogs who are afraid of strangers will take to twin much quicker than anyone else knew. It could be that they are feeding off my familiarity with twin, so they are not as sketched out, but they've also met very good friends of mine, and took way longer to warm up. Both twin and husband have a very chill, relaxed demeanor, so that can also be relevant. But even accounting for that, I still feel like, when they meet twin, with or without husband in the room, they're almost like, primed, like they already know this guy, so it's no big deal. He couldn't care less. Didn't even notice the difference. Just continued swimming in his bowl. My boyfriend has a twin brother. They both came to my parents' place when I still lived at home, and his brother came to the door first. The dog was super excited to see my boyfriend until he realized it wasn't my boyfriend when he got a couple feet away and started to growl. Pretty sure he thought my bill was a body snatcher or something. Since meeting my twin, my goldfish has never looked at me the same. Still trying to build back trust in our relationship. Yes, this is the sort of question I want to see on Reddit. Seems cats trust their eyesight while dogs trust their nose. I'm an identical twin. My cat will jump in my twin's lap, and not mine. She only sees her a few times a year. My twin hates cats.